For over a decade, a shadow stalked California.
He was a phantom, known by many names. The Visalia Ransacker, the East Area Rapist... the original Night Stalker. At least 50 home invasions, over 50 sexual assaults, and 13 murders. For years, he terrorized with impunity. And then, he vanished. Decades passed. The case grew cold, becoming a haunting symbol of an unsolvable crime. Law enforcement had his DNA, but in the vast traditional databases, he was a ghost. But what happens when science changes the rules? This is the story of the forensic breakthrough that brought a killer out of the shadows.
The key was the genetic evidence left behind at the crime scenes, but for years, it was a locked box. The samples were degraded, minute, and unusable by the standards of early DNA technology. With advancements in forensic science, investigators finally created a clean, complete DNA profile of the killer. They knew, with absolute certainty, the genetic identity of the man who committed these atrocities, but a name that remained a mystery.
They ran the profile through CODIS, the FBI's criminal database. It came up empty. Why? Because CODIS only matches to people who are already in the system. Convicted felons, arrested offenders. The Golden State Killer was not among them. He had no prior criminal record. The investigation had hit a wall. The breakthrough came not from a police database, but from a public one. A powerful new technique called investigative genetic genealogy, or IgG. Here's how it worked. Detectives took the killer's anonymous DNA profile and uploaded it to a public genealogy website that allows this kind of research, like GED match. The system didn't find the killer. Instead, it found hundreds of people who shared tiny fragments of his DNA, his distant relatives, third, fourth, fifth cousins. Genetic genealogists then took these names and, using public records like census data, birth certificates, and obituaries, began the monumental task of building a single massive family tree, backwards.
They worked for months, following the branches of this family tree through history. By a process of elimination, ruling out people who were the wrong age, gender, or location, they slowly narrowed the search from hundreds of potential suspects down to a handful and then down to one. The genealogical trail led to a 72-year-old man living in a quiet suburb of Sacramento, Joseph James DeAngelo. And the most shocking detail, he was a former police officer. But a family tree isn't enough for an arrest. They needed a confirmed DNA match, so investigators began surveillance.
They followed DeAngelo and collected DNA from something he discarded as tissue, a straw, the door handle of his car. They rushed a sample to the lab. The result was definitive, a perfect match. After 40 years, the phantom had a name and a face. The arrests sent shockwaves through the nation. For the victims and their families, it was a day they never thought would come.
In 2020, facing overwhelming evidence, Joseph DeAngelo pleaded guilty to numerous counts of murder and kidnapping. He was sentenced to multiple life terms without the possibility of parole, finally delivering a measure of justice and closure. But the legacy of this case extends far beyond one killer. The Golden State Killer investigation didn't just close a file. It opened a new frontier in forensic science. It proved that IgG was a powerful, legitimate tool, creating a new playbook for solving cold cases. Today, dozens of once insolvable murders and violent crimes are being cracked open using this very technique.
The Golden State Killer was just the beginning. What other enduring mysteries will this science unlock? Subscribe to Forensic Breakthrough and join us as we follow the evidence that's rewriting history one case at a time. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button and subscribe for more videos.